Your life can change in the blink of an eye. Last night I was driving home from the city. It was about 10:30 p.m. I was listening to music, I was singing along. Everything was good. And I looked to the right side of the road and I saw a deer, a pretty big deer. And I was like, "Oh, thankfully the deer decided to cross the highway before me." And then about a split second later, on the left side, I see a jumper coming through the ditch, and it smashes into the car, flips over the hood, and it was quite the experience. And it happened very fast. And when I left the city, I did not anticipate running into a deer. I did not anticipate my car breaking down. I did not anticipate everything that unfolded last night. I'm going to show you a picture of the car. It was not a small deer. It was not a small deer. And yes, that is an older car because I'm a Bitcoiner and I'd rather hold Bitcoin than a depreciating asset like a vehicle or a house. And I'm sorry to the real estate investors out there, but real estate is a depreciating asset in a fair market. But anyways, this was the aftermath of the car. And I could not make it home last night. I had to stay at my grandmother's house because it would not start. It messed her up pretty good. But the point is that happened very fast. And I think that everything in life happens in the exact same way. I know that we have these built-in expectations about our life expectancy. We think that we're going to live till we're 80 or 85 or 90, or if we're lucky, maybe even longer than that. And we kind of factor that into our day-to-day decisions because that's kind of what is ingrained in our mind, is that life's going to play out. Maybe we might die earlier, but we don't know when that's going to happen. We probably have some more time left. And thankfully, with this accident, I was okay. There was nobody else with me. Thankfully, Arnie was not in the car because he probably wouldn't have survived that. But it's just a good reminder. It's a very sobering reminder of how fast life happens to you. And the point I want to make is that most Bitcoiners out there, they understand what they're holding, I think. Most Bitcoiners have a pretty good idea of the amount of wealth that they're protecting and storing and securing and holding on to as best that they can. But I think one of the most underappreciated aspects of Bitcoin and overlooked aspects of Bitcoin is inheritance stuff, inheritance planning. Because if things would have went differently for me last night, or if this could happen to you watching this video or in an hour from now or tomorrow, like this, you're not immune from this. Life is very unexpected. And even though there is a life expectancy, there's no guarantee that we even come close to that. And so I think I'm under the assumption that there's probably 98% of Bitcoiners out there who do not have an inheritance plan in place. And if that was you driving down the road and you run into a deer or a car cross the lane and hit you head on or anything like that stuff happens every single day all around the world. And nobody really anticipates that when they start the car and leave. So I want you to think about that. And I know it's different for me because I was actually the one who lived through it. But at the same time, if somebody out there is watching this and maybe they didn't have their Bitcoin secured properly, or they didn't have their Bitcoin, maybe they buried in the backyard and didn't tell anybody because they expected to arrive home that night. Or if they had 10 different wallets in 10 different places and they didn't tell their family about where it is, or they had a note or something, look here. But consider your family's perspective with that. When they lose somebody in their life that's most important to them, that's a big enough loss. They don't have to spend time in a treasure hunt looking for your Bitcoin and figure out what your passphrase was, or where you kept your recovery phrase, or what the PIN code is for your device. This is not something that they're going to want to take on if something like that were to happen to you. So you don't have to panic, but I want you to take this stuff seriously because you are protecting and securing and inheriting the greatest asset in human history. And I do not want you to take that lightly. So the first thing I'd say is don't panic. The second thing I would say is start looking into it. Take some action. Find somebody out there who can help you with this. And this video is going to be you okay? talking here. This video, I'm talking about this because I think it's so important, but also it's something that we offer as a service as part of Bitcoin Citadel. And it's called the 21 Sats Security and Inheritance Protocol. And so not only will we 10x your security, whatever you have today, we can make that 10 times better. That's part of it. But the other part too is we give you a very detailed and structured and organized inheritance plan for you to leave with a trusted person in your life. And I don't think there's enough people thinking about this. And I think there's even fewer amount of people who are offering solutions to this. So again, don't panic, but start taking action. If you want to learn a little bit more about what we offer, you can shoot me an email here. My email is jor@bitcoincitadel.net. So again, this isn't something that you're going to set up next week, but you should start taking steps in this direction. If you care about your Bitcoin, it doesn't really matter how much Bitcoin you have today, because if something unexpected like that happens to you tomorrow and your family is unable to recover your Bitcoin, it doesn't matter. In 20 years from now, your family has 0 Bitcoin. So you could have 1, you could have 10, you could have 50. But if you're not securing it properly, and if you don't have a solid plan in place to pass that on, in the case of something unexpected, life is very unexpected overall, but you have 0 Bitcoin. So that's the email address there. And the next thing I would say after the call of action is that you should be making a very simple document. Because again, we're not going to be able to help you tomorrow. We're not going to be able to help you probably next week even. So just take a piece of paper. I really, really want you to do this. Even if you don't use our services in the future, I want you to take a piece of paper, one piece, keep it very simple, very clean. And just say, if something were to unexpectedly happen to me, this is what I want you to do. This is where you can find the device. This is where you can find the 12 words. And if you need somebody to help you out with that, you can contact blank. That might be your friend, your cousin, whoever you know in your life that is a Bitcoiner, or it could be Jor at Bitcoin Citadel. And you're probably thinking, oh yeah, of course Jor wants you to reach out to him. He's going to steal your Bitcoin. But that's why this next part is so important, because under that, you put in bold, italics, underline. Say, no matter who helps you restore this Bitcoin, no matter who it is, could be your cousin, your best friend, your son, Jor, anybody. They will not need to know your 12-word or 24-word, whatever you use. They will not need to know that recovery phrase. If they ask you for that, run. Nobody helping you recover this Bitcoin will need to know these 12 words or 24 words. They can help you without that. They can walk you through the process without knowing those 12 words. So if you have that very simple document, it's going to be something. It's not the best because you're still going to have to worry about the estate, probate, going through the courts, some of that information becoming public. It's not the best, but it's better than nothing. So that's what I would suggest you to do today. And then hopefully in a week or two from now, or in a month, whatever it is, you can reach out. We can have a conversation, see if we can help, see if it makes sense for you. And then if something does unexpectedly happen in your life, you're good. You're going to sleep much better at night. Not only is your Bitcoin going to be 10x more secured, that's part of the solution that we have, but you're also going to have a built-in inheritance plan that plugs into that security plan. So it is Friday. I'm alive. I have a couple, little bit of soreness here, but I really wanted to get this video out while it was fresh in my mind. So again, that email, you know what it is. You've seen it. If you wanted to write it down, you would have. So I hope you're having a great day today. I hope you take this stuff seriously. I hope you understand what you're protecting here and how important it is to have a plan in place in case something like that happens to you. Because we don't think it will. But as the great Charlie Major once said, he sang a song about it. It's called "It Can't Happen to Me." But we know it can. And we also know this. WARAB. We are right about Bitcoin. You are right about Bitcoin. You just have to make sure that you protect that Bitcoin and make sure that there's a plan in place to pass that Bitcoin on, because it is generational wealth. This stuff is going to go up forever. And it's your job here at being on Earth at this time, 2025, to protect that. And the time is now. The time is not once it's a lot more valuable, because it's going to be much more difficult. And something between now and then, like this, might happen to you. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, if you learn anything, you can shoot some sats over to our guy Arnie. That's his wallet. And either way, we'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.